Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, this is a mouthful, McFarlane Gold Label Collection, the McFarlane Collector Edition. This is the 2-pack of Batman, the Knightmare Batman, and the Armored Suit Batman from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. This one was a Walmart, correct me if I'm wrong here, I believe this is it, a Walmart exclusive 2-pack. Also went up on McFarlane Toy Store. So it was exclusive to Walmart and exclusive to McFarlane Toy Store. Went up during Walmart Collector Con. Sold out ridiculously fast on both Walmart and McFarlane Toy Store. I was able to get it because at one point they put it up a bundle of this 2-pack along with the Superman and Doomsday 2-pack, which I was able to just get in a standard pre-order through Big Bad Toy Store. So I didn't need this one as I had a pre-order through Big Bad Toy Store. But it was the only way to be able to get this 2-pack, so I had to do it. And I'm very happy that it did because... not that I'm the biggest collector of DC Multiverse, because I'm really not. I have very few. I had a bunch early on, and then I sold them all off. But I'm in a Batman kick, so I'm getting the movie Batman figures, the ones with the soft goods cape, because I just like it. And plus, Ben Affleck is my favorite live action Batman. I absolutely loved his portrayal as Batman. Here we have the Batman v Superman figure right there. So happy to have that. I'll do a comparison with these two here so we can see it. But yes, so here we have it. Gold label, McFarlane Collector Edition 2-pack. It is number 02. I guess number 1 is the Jonah Hex pack. So we've got that there. So 2 different versions of Batman. I think this one was really sought after because he comes with a bunch of guns. So it looks like we got a grapple hook type deal. We got a rifle there. We got some kind of grenade launcher, it looks like. We got a crossbow. We got a handgun. I don't know if that's like a grenade or something there. And then we have like this rocky little base there. So pretty cool. I'm excited about it. You know, these figures are different because the Knightmare Batman's getting a single release, the Armor Batman's getting a single release, but these head sculpts are different. So I would rather have like multiple heads in a pack, and McFarlane has been doing that on some, or they have swappable faceplates on like some of the collector editions. I'd rather they just release it once, but you know, this is kind of how we have to get it. But in this case, we get more accessories, so that is a really cool thing. So looking at it, you see here the presentation of the package. Looking at the back, we just get like poster artwork of the armor suit as well as the Knightmare Batman there. I will still get the single releases. I have them on pre-order with Big Bad Toy Store. They're basically sold out, but the Superman Doomsday I think is the only thing that's still available to pre-order. So I'll have a link in the video description below to pick up that if you're interested. But let's go ahead and open this up. Let's take a look at these Batman figures. Hey guys, if you haven't already, please make sure to hit that subscribe button now. I'm hoping to hit my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. We're getting close, so I need your help. So if you're a fan of my action figure reviews, fan of the channel, and would like to see more, please make sure to hit that subscribe button now. Okay, so here we have the Batman figures out of the package, and there's a couple of things that I don't really care for on the Knightmare Batman, but the Armor Batman is a whole lot of fun. And then again, because I don't review very many DC Multiverse, I mean, there's only so many on the channel, but as I am getting a little bit more into them, a couple of things to kind of note, and we'll talk about them on each figure. We'll go ahead and take a look at Knightmare Batman first, just because we read left to right, and he was on the left side of the package when looking at it straight on. So we'll take a look at him, and we'll look at the accessories that this figure 2-pack comes with. Like Armored Batman, the accessories that are specific to him, I guess, are just going to be the extra set of hands. So out of the package, he's got 2 grip hands, and then we got a fist for the left, and then we got like his open hand for the right. I don't know if the single release has the same exact hands. I didn't look into that one particular that much, but we'll let's go ahead and just zoom in on the Knightmare Batman, and then we'll take a look at the accessories, since I think majority is probably pertain to him a little bit more. I mean, the grapple hook I guess could be for either one. That one's probably more Armored Batman, right? Because he would have, I think he used it at some point to kind of swing himself, give him some leverage as he was attacking Superman. But anyway, let's go ahead and get these Batman figures off. There are some peg hooks peg hooks. Pegs on this base so you can get them to stand. As you can see there, just has like this rocky terrain. It's just done in like this brown color there. And there's a little bit of that wash or dry brushing throughout to kind of give it that rocky texture there. So we'll zoom in and look at the texture. And that looks pretty good. And then you got the 2 pegs there so you can get the figures to stand. So there we go. Now, Knightmare Bat. Okay, so here's a up-close look at the Knightmare Batman. So this Batman, the difference is the head sculpt compared to the single release. So this particular head sculpt, we actually get it to where he's got the, is it the balaclava, I guess, or, you know, the mask there because of the snowstorm and stuff. And then he's got the goggles on. The single release head sculpt, you'll see the full mask version. And then I think it's probably just going to be this head, to be honest with you. And then you have the option of goggles to put over onto the head. But other than that, the figure really should be the exact same. It does share some parts with the Batman versus Superman Batman figure here. Like the belt is the same, the cargo belt. The feet are the same. The boots are the same design, but they're obviously not the same piece as the top of this boot, you know, has the cargo pants on there, but the boot design is the exact same. The feet are the same. So he's got the same feet. He's got the same forearm. So the same elbow and forearm and hand. Well, I don't know if the hands are for sure because this guy doesn't have fists, but this one does. But the forearms are for sure the same. And one thing that I don't like about that is you get the texture of the bat suit for the trench coat arms, which doesn't make sense, right? Like it doesn't, like when you think about that, it's like, well, that's weird because you got the texture of the trench coat, which looks good. It's nice on there, even like the shoulder, the arm, it's cool. But then the forearm, it's like, well, what happened there? It's all of a sudden a bat suit. I mean, I get it, cost, you know, cutting measure and makes it a little bit cheaper, but it looks really weird on this, just because the mismatched texture. I think the lower torso is the same as well. The upper torso is different because they would have had to wait, actually, you know what? Oh, you know what? The upper torso is the same. Haha. I was thinking it was different because of, you know, the mask portion, but that's just like probably glued onto the neck or just put over the neck. Do these heads come off easily? I don't feel like this. I don't know if it comes off easily. I'm not going to pull it off. I don't want to accidentally break it because you can't get a replacement of this 2-pack because they're not available anywhere. So that's actually the same torso as the Batman, but you could just see color-wise, it is a little bit different. It's more of a lighter grayish color as opposed to like kind of the bluish hue that we got in the BBS version. The cargo belt is just all black this time around. But that works out well. One thing that we don't get on this figure is you notice in the shoulders. So typically, the way McFarlane does his toys, you have this faux butterfly joint, I like to call it, because it's in there to kind of looks like a butterfly joint, but really it's just like a ring plastic piece to fill in the gap of the shoulder. So on these, we actually just don't even get that gap. So you could see that, hey, there's no butterfly in there. It's just kind of this open space. And then because it's the trench coat, it doesn't really matter. You don't need it in there. And you can kind of feel like you kind of get some back and forth motion in there. So that's kind of what we got going on there. And then here, I don't know if mine's missing paint or what's going on, but you have this like strap piece there that's not colored in at all. But it looks like on this side it was. Like there's black right there. And then you have whatever this strap is, that's not colored in at all. So the pants are just kind of all the same color. And they're a little shiny. I'm not the biggest fan of that. And then you have like the knee pads, and then you have the knees. They're pretty ugly cuts on the knee, unfortunately. Like it's just doesn't look as good. And then a lot of times with McFarlane knees, you know, we kind of see some of that going on with like the pointed knee joint for whatever reason. Why it's pointed, I'm not really sure. So just a little odd choice there. The boots are good there, but then I wanted to kind of talk about the diaper piece in there. The diaper piece on this one is super rubbery. As you can see, it like moves around, and I feel like it might tear eventually, because like on this side it looks like it could already have some little tears in it, but it's like super rubbery, and you could really see it move around like crazy. And I know all the DC Multiverse figures kind of have it, and it's a little rubbery, but like this one is very thick, so it's not as noticeable on this one. So I'm for the most part, I compare like all these figures to kind of this one because that's kind of the best one that I've got, or one of the few that I even have.
there. So I just thought I would mention that. And then the torso, it just feels like it kind of like dips in a little bit, like he's really sucking in his gut. I'm not really sure why it kind of looks like that. I don't know. Oh, there we go. I just kind of fixed it. I guess that was kind of the issue and how it was kind of set in there. So we fixed that. So there we go. The weapons, again, we have like this rifle here. And I don't know if this is supposed to be some kind of tape or something, but it's just like this silver color there. The gun is just all done in black, and you get this little wrap here. Very soft at the end, as you can see. It was a little bit warped, so just a heads up on that. But that looks good. We get this little like grenade here, just all in black there. If you guys could see it, get a better look at it there. And then we get like this grenade launcher, or I feel like it's a grenade launcher because look how large that barrel would be. So we have that there, and that looks pretty good. It's just all done in black plastic there, but that looks good. We get the handgun. The handgun looks really good, as you can see there. So that is nice. This is a Desert Eagle, right? I'm pretty sure like Desert Eagle for the most part is one I recognize the most. So we have that there. We get that grapple gun, and this looks good. Nice silver and black in there. This doesn't come out or anything like that, so it's all sculpted and molded to look like that, but it looks good. And then we have this crossbow. Now, my understanding is that the crossbow was not in the movie or anything, so you just kind of get it. Mine's a little warped, not that big of a deal, but it looks good. All silver color there and a little bit of black there on the handle. So there we go. So that is Knightmare Bat. So let's go ahead and take a look at Armor Suit. Okay, so here we have Armor Suit Batman. You could see some Ben Affleck resemblance in there a little bit. They don't have to do a whole lot, but I can kind of see it. It's believable. But we get the broken helmet on this particular version. The single release will have the full-on helmet there, but it looks pretty good. I like the little blue outline in the eye to kind of give it that glow effect. That works out really well. There is a ton of paint on this figure, which is awesome because it really brings out the detail of the figure and just kind of the, how gritty it would look. It doesn't have like this clean look because, it really shouldn't have a clean look. So it just really came out nice. Just this, wash over the whole thing. A nice silver paint for the armor as well. We get some gold spots like there on the legs. And then the belt, a utility belt. What was I calling the belt earlier? Cargo belt? That didn't make sense. Was I saying cargo belt? I don't even remember what I say. But gold there, and then the utility belt, gold all around, so that is cool. The awesome thing about here, we get this soft goods cape. It's done in like this polyester like cloth, so it's not at all like the Batman capes that we had gotten. This is a very thick like material, which is nice. It's very tattered at the ends, which is cool. We do get the bendy wire in there, so you could flare it out and do all kinds of cool stuff. So that is really nice. But yeah, it is a crazy. Let me zoom out here for you guys. Crazy. Soft goods cape there, which is definitely nice. I like that McFarlane is doing that, incorporating more soft goods into his figures. It seems like that's the way he's going. He did just do an exclusive Batman, which comes with two different capes. You have a soft goods cape, and then you have a molded design cape, so you get the best of both worlds, which is a pretty awesome thing. But yeah, this guy looks pretty good, and he moves around pretty good. Like he's not. I was thinking he was going to be super clunky because he's so large, but no, he actually moves around pretty decently. The diaper portion on this guy though is a little bit small. Like you see, it's really indented in there, and I feel like it just looks a little funky. But I kind of like that it's a little bit smaller. And it's not as noticeable. It just, I think the rubber just is indented in there a little bit more than it should be. Maybe if I just do that and kind of stretch it out, I think that might help a little bit, but not too big a deal. But anyway, let's go ahead and zoom out. Let's take a look at the articulation for each. Okay, so Knightmare Batman, how he can move his articulation. He can't really look up, unfortunately. He can't really look down, unfortunately. You could do a side to side on that head. Not really any. Oh, you could do a little tiny bit of pivot going on in there. The shoulder you can get to go straight on out that much, like so. You could do a full rotation in there. You have an upper bicep swivel in that that arm. You get a double jointed elbow. McFarlane Toys does use pins, but the colors match, so not a big deal. But that much bend there in the elbow. Wrist swivel and the hinge, they are on a ball joint, so you can move. You should be able to move that ball around to be able to hinge in the direction that you need, which is good. We get the diaphragm cut on this guy and a ball joint at the waist. So in total, You can get Knightmare Bat to tilt to the left that much. That's an insane amount. That's great. You can get him to tilt to his right that much there, which is really good. Going back with the trench coat is definitely a problem. As you can see, it's not really going to work out. Coming forward, there you can move him forward that much. There you could swivel at that diaphragm. You could swivel at that ball joint waist as well. Legs go out that far apart there. He can kick forward only so far, and then I feel like the rubber just is a little restrictive in there. It just doesn't want to kick forward. You don't really get swivel in that thigh though. Like I'm trying to turn it a little bit and you really can't get any turn in there. You get a double jointed knee, so that much bend there at the knee. Again, it's kind of an ugly bend. You could see these large cut-ins on those knees. Usually with thicker legs though, that sort of thing does tend to happen. No calf swivel or boot swivel. You do have an ankle swivel in there though on that ankle ball, so you can hinge the foot all the way down. You can hinge up a little bit. You do have ankle pivot peg holes at the bottom of the feet in there, and you do have toe articulation for this guy. So that is the Knightmare Bat. And then you always gotta like readjust that middle torso in. It's kind of odd, but you know, there we go. Got him back on track. And then here with the armor suit. Batman, he can't really look up on this. He can't really look down. You can move to the side a little bit because of the way the armor is on this collar. You can't really work that head over it to really get some turn in there. So just a heads up on that. The arm you can get to go straight on out like so. You can do a full rotation. You just have to be mindful of the shoulder pad there that is attached at the shoulder. You do have that faux butterfly joint in there that does allow some backwards motion and some forward motion there, but there's going to be zero crossbody in there. You do have what looks like an upper thigh cut, but I am not. Let me see. I gotta grip it. Okay, you do have that upper bicep cut in there. Single jointed elbow this time, this go round, so you get that much bend at the elbow, so just under 90 degrees. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. It is on a ball hinge, so you just move the ball around so you can hinge it the way that you're going to need to there. We have diaphragm cut and ball joint waist, so you can get the armored Batman to tilt to his left that much, which is about right. It's a gigantic metal suit. He shouldn't move around too much. Tilt to his right that much. The earlier was left. I may have said right, I think. Leans back really far, which is good, and then comes forward very little to hardly anything at all, which would make sense. Big, huge armor suit. I mean, how much could he really move? The diaphragm up there, he does the swivel nice and easy, and you could also swivel at that ball joint waist. Legs go out that far apart, but see how that diaper is? It just always keeps getting caught, and I don't really like that for this one. I feel like it shouldn't be the case. Yeah, see? There we go. That's better. You can get the legs to go out that far apart, which is insane, which is not realistic. He can kick forward that far, which is good. Yeah, that's an insane kick forward. That's really nice. The leg does go back quite a ways in there. You get a little bit of swivel on this leg, at least on that hip, whereas the Knightmare Batman really didn't. So there's a little bit on this guy there. That much bend at the knee there, which is good. You get a swivel at the foot. The way the foot is, I don't know if you noticed, there's a little bit of gap in here. And I'm not the biggest fan because it looks like when standing up straight, that ball is kind of in at an angle, which makes him a little hard to stand up straight. And I'm not the biggest fan of it because it becomes a little too loose in my opinion, and he doesn't always want to stand up straight or have the most balance. So I wish there would have been something in there, or if the foot would have come up to the ankle all the way, even if it would have limited the articulation, I think it would have been better. Even like from an aesthetic standpoint, the gap just looks a little funny in my opinion. You can only hinge down so much, you can only hinge up so much, so there's not a whole lot of benefit in there. You do get some good pivot though, and then you could swivel it around on that ball in there. You could work it a little bit. And the cool thing about the bottom of the feet, you got these spikes in there, which are nice, and then you have that toe articulation as well, and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So there we go for Armor Suit Batman. Before I forget, I want to point this out because I was just thinking about this. Like the Batman versus Superman Batman, like on the back of the figure, we got none of the paint that's on the front. Like it's crazy. So it looks all good and textured, nice wash in there, and then nothing on the back. He has a completely clean look, which is, you know, a little unfortunate. Now the cape is going to cover it up all the time for me, so it's not a problem for me. But on the armor suit, they went full out with the paint on the entire back of the figure. No issues whatsoever. So that is awesome. Even though this cape is really going to cover up majority of it, and you're not going to see it, they still painted it anyway. That is awesome that they did that. Okay, so getting this armor Batman, the grapple gun, I'm pretty sure it comes with him because in the movie, you know, Batman vs. Superman, he uses it to be able to swing and stomp on Superman, if memory serves me correctly. So that's pretty cool. And as you could see, you know, with this particular armor Batman, you can get him to move around in some decent esque poses. So even though it's a very bulky figure, he can move pretty decently. So definitely a nice touch. Definitely impressed with it. It's way better than I thought it would be because I was thinking this thing was not going to move whatsoever, and I'm happy I was wrong in that. Okay, and then Knightmare Batman, he is a little bit more restrictive in what you could do kind of posing around because you got the thick trench coat, which doesn't allow for a whole lot of movement. So, you know, we can kind of crunch down a little bit, and that's kind of the best that, you know, that I'm able to do. Okay, and so for our side-by-side comparisons with our Ben Affleck Batman, we have the Knightmare Batman, the Batman vs. Superman Batman, the armor suit Batman. As you can see, these two are essentially the same height, which is perfect because it's the same guy. And then the armor suit obviously would add some additional height to him as he's, you know, bulked up in this big armored suit with these thick-ass boots there. So that actually works out well. I'm really happy to be including these figures now within my collection. I was a fan of Man of Steel. I was not a big fan of Batman vs. Superman. I just feel like it didn't really do well. Like when I saw it at theaters, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. The Martha thing kind of bothers me a little bit. And then the director's cut came out, the extended cut, the Snyder extended cut. And I appreciated the movie a whole lot more after the Snyder cut. Yeah, the story is still like crazy, like Lex Luthor, how did he know about, like, it's still this wild, like, coincidental things that had to have been in place for all of that to happen. Sure. But I felt the movie was much more enjoyable in that extended cut. Like, it made sense why they were going after Superman a little bit more, because in the theatrical cut they had cut out the reason why, so it felt kind of weird. Other than Superman's a god, he can do whatever he wants, we have to stop him. It's like, well, no, they thought he killed all these people because there was no evidence to the contrary. So, you know, it made a whole lot more sense. Justice League came out and I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't think it was fantastic or anything, but I enjoyed it. But then we got the Snyder cut, and I'm not like a Snyder fanatic. The Snyderverse can be dead. I don't care. Other than Ben Affleck's my favorite Batman. I would have loved to have gotten a Ben Affleck Batman movie. But the Snyder cut came out 4 hours long on HBO Max. I enjoyed it. I liked it. You know, I didn't think it was the greatest thing ever, but it definitely made Justice League a little bit better. And there were some weird things, like, why are these, like, Swedish people or whoever they are, Norwegian? It was Norway, right? Why are these Norwegian people randomly singing? I thought that was extremely odd and just didn't fit in the movie. But other than that, like, I felt like the 4-hour movie, even though it was long, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if the Snyderverse would have continued, cool. If it's dead, cool. I'm good either way. I hope James Gunn does some awesome stuff with the DCU. But, you know, I really liked Ben Affleck's Batman. I loved Henry Cavill's Superman. And I would have loved to see them continue on. Unfortunately, they're not. But hey, we're getting some new action figures for it. So I am a fan of that and all for it. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of the Knightmare Batman? What do you think of the Armor Suit Batman? Were you able to get in a pre-order at Walmart? Or were you able to get it at McFarlane Toy Store? Or did you have to go with the bundle like I did just to be able to get this 2-pack? I'm very happy with it. And I know, yes, we're getting single releases. But I'm kind of one of those ones where it's like, if they're going to release it, I'm going to end up buying them all. Not that I'm going to be a completist with DC Multiverse in any way. But at this point, maybe the Batman versus Superman stuff, I will. Because as of right now, it's, you know, these figures, there's a wave coming out. It's got Wonder Woman, we got that False God statue Superman, we got Armored Batman, then we got the Platinum Edition Armored Batman, we got this Armored Batman, and we have that 2-pack. Hopefully that's it. But we'll see what happens if I end up going like crazy and getting more and more. But I'm definitely a fan of the Batman. The soft goods capes
are a really nice touch that they're added in into the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figures now. So we have that. So you guys give me your thoughts on this 2-pack down in the comments below. If you've got it, if you were lucky to get it. I heard Walmart orders haven't shipped out yet. I'm not really sure. Again, I had the bundle from McFarlane Toy Store and that shipped out. But give you guys, again, in the comments, give me your thoughts. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Help me reach my goal of 50,000. And as always, thank you for watching.